about forestry, people have planted forests, people have done all the things, but many people could not have heard about anything called timber growing in this country. Let's first decipher it.
Thank you again, moderator. Timber growing or timber industry is a whole sector, beginning with tree planters. You have got people who are engaged in nursery business, nursery
nursery beds, growing of nursery beds,
all the way to the people who are processing. That is the sector we are talking about. And you will find individuals, you will find companies, corporate companies involved in tree planting at any of those entry points that I have mentioned. Okay. And it is a growing business in Uganda.
Okay. Mr. Kavuma, the General Manager, is Uganda Timber Growers Association a government entity or it's an NGO?
Thank you very much. UTGA is an umbrella body for the commercial private tree growers in Uganda. So these are, again, like Solomon has said, individuals, it's companies, it's people who have decided to come together in an organized group with the desire to grow trees to make money.
That's what I do.
Yes.
So what's your mandate as your GTA?
Our mandate is to be the leading commercial forestry actor in Uganda. We also want to, as UTJ, we support efficient, high-quality, profitable investments in commercial forestry using a collective effort and representing members' efforts and member interests.
How different are you from the National Forest Authority?
The NFA is a government body.
Okay.
With a mandate to manage central forest reserves in Uganda. Now, UTJ, on the other hand, is a private organization that brings together tree growers in Uganda who are doing it commercially, but doing it privately. And the major thing there is that 75% of the tree growers or UTJ members are growing trees on NFA land or government land. So that's how we link.
Okay.
That's how UTJ links with NFA.
Mr. Okay, I'll come now because you also from the banking sector. I'll use the example of the Bankers Association, the Uganda Bankers Association. That of course brings together all commercial banks in the country, and of course as an umbrella body for them. From Mr. Kavuma here, UTGA is also an umbrella body of all timber growers in this country. Who are the members to start with, and now what is the mandate of this association that brings together all these other growers?
First of all, it is a growing membership. Today we have over 580 members.
580.
And it is growing every day. And these include individuals who have decided to grow trees, either on private land or government land, which was leased to them by NFA through a government policy. And there are others who are actually growing on private, purely private land, along their boundaries with their neighbors. They buy land and plant and grow incrementally whenever they get money. And those are also very many who are members of our association. And then there are technical people who are experts in this sector, and they offer services to our members.
Okay.
These are also members. And then there are operators such as nursery operators who are spread across the country, and they grow seedlings they prepare their nurseries and sell seedlings to the growers.
Okay.
And then you have people who add value. They own factories where we supply our raw materials to them. So all these are members of our association. And as you rightly said, we are akin to the UBA, Uganda Bankers Association,
Okay.
looking after the interests of the members,
Okay.
but also encouraging tree growing as a business.
Exactly.
That's why we are here.
Okay, how does somebody find you to become a member, or how do you recruit your members? Because that's very important. And what value addition do they get by joining the association? Because I think it's also important for somebody to know why they should join the association, and how do you recruit them, or how do they find you?
Number one, we have got a website, vibrant website, which is updated regularly. It is www.utga.ug, but also have a telephone line. You can get us on 0785 343 564. But on the website, there are options for you to go to the form and become a member of UTGA.
Mr. Kavuma, you want to add something?
Yes, I wanted to add something that we have a fully fledged office. We have a secretariat on plot 116 Bukoto Street. So it's an office for UTGA where members and prospective members are welcome. Yes.
Okay, well, that's very important. Mr. Okacho talked about looking at timber as a business, to look at it as a very lucrative business. Have you studied or understudied why many people actually get into growing trees or forests at that? And what are you telling them now to actually look at that? And if they're really making it a commercial viable business, then what do they need to do? What kind of timber should they actually grow? And what timber shouldn't they grow? Lots of these things, because somebody wants to know that if they get into a business, they should know, how much time am I going to invest in this? How much money am I investing in this? And in what period am I supposed to recoup from my investment? And I think it's very important.
One of the essential services of UTGA is to share information and help in training and help in imparting knowledge about commercial forestry. Now, the desire to grow trees is universal. The need to grow trees for money needs to be backed by information and knowledge. And so that's why we request those who want to grow trees for money to come and join UTGA, so that they limit the number of mistakes that they would make. So it's a motley of things that you've got to do if you want to grow trees for money. One is you've got to plant the right species. Very, very critical. Because if you want to make money through growing trees, the trees should grow uniformly and they should have straight form. So this information UTGA passes on. Secondly, we take you through the process. Commercial forestry is a science, and there are things that you need to do so that you grow trees properly. You've got to practice modern silviculture, so that you grow the right species, you grow the proper and right seedling at the right time, in the right season, and then you carry out best practices so that you do proper weeding, you do proper pruning, and then you do proper thinning, because the end result, it needs to be a good product. Commercial forestry is a long-term investment. So once you do a mistake at the beginning, it's very, very costly, because you realize the mistake after 5 years, or 6 years, or 7 years. So that's why you need to do things properly at the beginning, and UTGA helps you to do that.
Can I add?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. In short, you were asking, what is it in it for Ugandans to come and join UTG? What is the case for joining a new person seeking to join UTG? Number one, as the GM has said, lobbying. You can't do advocacy as a single lone voice.
So
But lobbying advocacy to create a conducive environment for the industry to flourish. Engagement with government, engagement with NFA, engagement with the financial sector. For example, you know that the government created a fund for agriculture through the central bank and the commercial banks. But this fund does not include tree planters. When they go there, they say, you are in industry, you go to industry. They go to industry, they say, no, you are under
Actually, where do you fall? Where do you belong?
fall?
Where do tree growers belong?
Yes, so we are handling this issue as a sector. We need to engage with the people who matter so that funding, for example, can also be provided for because of the central role that this sector plays, not only in the economy, but also to the environment, the common good, public good that trees provide to this country. So lobbying is key, and you can't do it alone. So that's why members, people should come and join this association. The general manager talked about quality of materials. We advise about the right quality, the right trees to plant, where there is value, where you're going to earn good money. And as a matter of fact, we have started a professionally managed nursery. We have got our own nursery, and we encourage Ugandans to go and get the right seedlings from that nursery. And the general manager will tell us the location of this nursery. Plantation management. It's a science, as the general manager said. So you can't just wake up and you start planting. You think
and I think that's why I have an issue also. Because when you talk about tree planting, ideally, we knew that these forests are supposed to be some thickets there where trees just grow like that and they become even impenetrable. They become impassable in a way. Now when you talk about planting management, you're seemingly telling us that yes, these trees are supposed to be planted in a particular way, in a particular manner, and in some sort of way. Yet we are used to those forests that you first of all just look for where to pass, and you even can't find a way to pass. Once you throw the trees or the seeds in the ground, then you leave the rest to God. Yes. Then just pass by, see the trees flourishing, growing, giving you shades, doing all these things. Then after years, come and cut what you want to cut, use it for firewood, use it for this, use it for timber, go build, go do that. Isn't that the way to go?
Not at all. That's why we talk about plantation management. For example, in planting, there are spacings that are scientifically determined.
That we do for
that
coffee?
You do per tree, from one tree to the next one. So if you go planting the way you have described, I'm not sure you are going to make good business at the end of the day. Plantation management involves many things, including weeding, pruning, thinning, risk management, you know, these fire management. You know, all that is under plantation management, and it is done professionally. Yes.
But you want to say something, Mr. Kavuma?
I want to add to what Solomon has said. And you raise a very important issue. There's conservation forestry. Conservation forestry is where we are meant to protect the natural forests, the bugomas, the mavidas. So the thick, impenetrable,
the buindies
and so on. So that those natural forests are very, very important for our environment, as you know, for our soils, cleaning our water, cleaning our air. They are home to biodiversity. Critical, very, very important use that these forests have. And UTJ encourages its members to practice conservation forestry in the conservation areas. Because you see, if you have 50 hectares and you're planting 50, so you want to plant trees commercially on 50 hectares, there are areas where that have swamps, that have natural belts. There are areas that have natural forests. There are areas that are riverine, near rivers, near lakes. We don't plant trees in conservation areas, and we promote and encourage our members not to do that. Because God created those areas with specific functions. And so we leave those. And we actually, what we are encouraging our members to do is to help restore those, restore and rehabilitate those areas. Commercial forestry, on the other hand, is mostly on degraded areas, degraded land, where we establish and plant and grow commercial species, which include in Uganda pines, eucalyptus, and teak, which mostly is grown in eastern and northern Uganda.
Teak tree.
Exactly. Teak. So that's the balance. So the balance is very critical. Balancing between commercial forestry and
the natural
and conservation, the natural, keep protecting and conserving the natural forest.
Okay, well, I think that now also brings you to another very important question, because when you look at Uganda itself, it is zoned for certain things, agriculture, for example, that there is that zoning of you knowing that if I am a claim into this particular type of agriculture, I can do it in this particular part of the country. You talked about teak tree in eastern Uganda and all everywhere. But just talking about the trees themselves, can I just get any trees, plant them anywhere, anyhow in this country, and actually have the yields at the end of the day?
Again, these are benefits that UTJ brings to the fore. If you come and join UTJ, we then advise. First of all, if you want to plant trees, we need to visit your site to determine the quality of your site. We can even do soil testing. We can auger and do some soil testing, and then professionally advise you on the species that will bring economic value to you. So it's the approach to that is very, very important to us, and it's a service that we provide our members and growers.
Okay, just before I get to Mr. Chairman, when you look at Uganda's forest cover, over the years it has kept on waning and of course fading away. When you get back to, I think, the statistics of 1986, you notice that our forest cover was, I think, at 25% at that time. 36 years later, we have depreciated to just about 9% or something like that. It is just waning away. Do you think you are helping us to regain, to restore, to bring this back, even when I am doing it for commercial purposes, but does it also help in reboosting or revamping our forest cover in the long run?
That is correct, Mr. Moderator. We know from the statistics that we continue to degrade the forests. I think it is at a rate of 200 hectares per annum. But through commercial private tree planting, we have been able to restore at least 6,000 hectares. 6,000 hectares? Yes, and we continue to grow as private planters. So the only effort that, part of the effort for restoration of forests is being taken care of by the association. Yes, government is doing a lot of things, including restoration of natural forests, but the direct contribution that this association is giving is that every year private tree planters are contributing to the restoration of the forest cover in Uganda. As I've told you, 6,000 hectares have already been planted, and we are planting every year. We hope that as many